Alright. Hello everyone. So this is gonna be sort of a very sloppy demo of the new Earthquaker Devices pedal, the Aqueduct, right here. The Aqueduct, as anybody who would click on this would probably know, is a vibrato pedal that Earthquaker put out about a week ago now, I think, maybe close to 2 weeks now. And it's very, very weird, but also very, very traditional, but also exciting. There's a lot of things to get into. So for this, I am just going to cover the modes that I have kind of gravitated towards as I've had this thing over the past week, and just kind of talk about why I like those modes and what I think of them. So, just for reference, apart from the array of pedals you see on the ground here, I am using Squier Affinity Stratocaster that I have heavily modified, different pickups, different electronics, all that, and that's going into an orange Tiny Terror head into a Marshall half stack. I think it's a 4x12, 4x10, I don't know. It's a Marshall thing that pushes air and it sounds like this without any pedals. So that's my clean sound. So first mode I'm going to get into here is the sine mode, and I've got both rate and depth pretty much straight ahead, and that's just this really pretty kind of like clean sound, sort of like this. That's that sound. I believe the violinist from Godspeed in her demo video said that it kind of reminded her of like an organ or a mellotron type sound, and I can definitely hear that, especially when you just play chords. It's like a Leslie speaker kind of vibe. You add some stuff to it, and it can sound really... It's very, very pretty sounding. Yeah, that's a mode that I really like. It's a mode I gravitate towards. It's just great for certain little clean lines. It adds a little bit of movement. That's the subtle shit. And the next mode I like is the ramp mode. And for this, I have everything dimed, and I will tell you how that's even a feasible thing to do. And that's because of the switching system this thing has. I believe it's called the flex switch technology. If I'm wrong, someone will correct me in the comments, because this is YouTube. The flex switch, essentially what it is, it's a switch that functions both as a momentary switch and as your standard bypass switch. So what that means is if you step on it as normal, it'll just be on, and you can just turn it off. But if you hold it down, it'll act as a momentary switch. And I have a loop up here that has a momentary and a standard on-off switch. And having this is kind of trippy because there is no discernible difference. You can't really tell. It just, you do the thing and it does it. It doesn't feel unnatural to just use the pedal as a momentary thing, or to just stomp it as normal. It just does what it's supposed to do, and I think that's great, especially if you're in a live performance situation. You don't really want to think about, oh, I need to hold this down for I need to hold this down for 1 second to make it do this certain function. It's like, no, you can just act like it's a momentary switch, and it'll act like a momentary switch too, you know? I don't know how they did that, but I want that on like every pedal I have now, just because it's so useful to be able to just dime shit in like that. Like, I hope that's something that they can sell that's easy to slot into like everything, like my Phase 90, my delays, like it's crazy. I love that shit. But what that allows you to do is that allows you to have a more extreme setting like what I have here on ramp mode and just ping it in wherever you want. So say I'm playing a song and I'm just like lets you do shit like that, and you know, of course, you add other pedals to the mix. Like, there's a lot that can be done with that, and I feel like that adds a new dynamic thing to this. And anyway, but that's the switch going. That mode is ramp, which just kind of has this upward slope thing that just goes up and it starts at the bottom again. So. I kind of like how that sounds, you know. I suppose if you get it in the right spot, you can do some rhythmic shit. Like, I don't know. I just like having it dimed. You know, cartoon noises. What else? Oh, another mode that kind of made me go, whoa, the first time I heard it was the random mode. So what the random mode does is it goes through all the different waveforms that you already have and just randomly picks one. So that just kind of sounds like this. Suddenly you're in a knobs demo. So yeah, it's a very wonky mode. It reminds me almost of a dying record player, like when stuff starts to break and then the speed just can't stay right, and it's like, hey, you know, I really like that song by Radiohead that's like let me put on my vinyl of that I have. This record player's kind of old, but should be fine. It's cool. I want to experiment with that mode more, because I feel like there are certain passages of songs that could be made cool with that. So I want to spend some time with that. The last mode that I really like is the one that I feel like is the most talked about with this pedal, which is the envelope pitch mode, or as Earthquaker has so aptly advertised it as, the My Bloody Valentine setting. So what that is there's 3 modes on this that are envelope controlled, so the more you hit your guitar, the more the effect will be altered. And there's depth and speed, like the rate, and so those will change if you pick, like harder or softer. But the one that got everybody all crazy about this is the pitch one. So the harder you hit your guitar, the more the pitch will be altered. And so what that gets you, essentially, is the Kevin Shields My Bloody Valentine whammy wiggle glide guitar thing without needing the hardware to do so. You can just have a pedal that does it now. So, I'll give you an example of what that sounds like. Here's my guitar clean. And then with the pedal. So it's like that, like chainsaw. And, you know, of course you add in distortion, you add in delay, and then you really start to get the sound. about to be like 60 different bands now that are ripping off Kevin Shields. Like, myself included. Like, shit. Like, it's so much fun to just have that. It makes you think about what you're doing chord-wise a little bit differently. Because it's like, there's an extra bit of movement which allows for even more texture than what you already have. Because you have your chords sliding back into pitch. For instance, I have this song called Lightspeed that's got your standard. And then that has some delay. And it has a lot of distortion. And that on its own is pretty good, but when you add any Aqueduct doing the pitch thing, that extra bit of movement really makes that whole, what's a fairly boring little like bar chord mashing, it makes it this really kind of beautiful wash, which is a My Bloody Valentine thing, you know, now we can all have. So that is just kind of my rough sort of, these are the 3 settings I like. Obviously it's not everything that this pedal can do, but it's a lot of what this pedal is good at doing. So really it just benefits from you taking it, looking at the different modes that you may like, and just experimenting. I mean, it can really do everything. It can do subtle, it can do blur, it can do My Bloody Valentine, and it can do a completely random bullshit, which is awesome. So I think Sweetwater has this on finance for the 3 easy payments thing. I did that to get this pedal, so you can get it in like 1 payment of 70 and 2 of 60, and you're good, and you get it after the first payment. So it's definitely something that if you're interested in vibrato and you want something that can kind of do the whole swath of vibrato type things, this would be something I would say to go for. Absolutely. It's really got all I'll ever need at this point. But yeah, so that's that pedal. Check it out. Check out the other demos. Yeah, just enjoy it. But yeah, I'll see you all next time, I guess.